Messages, teddy bears, shoes. This memorial for all the lives lost and all those children who did not come home stands here on the steps of the Mohawk Institute in Brantford, Ontario, operating for about 140 years as a former residential school. I spoke with 3 survivors and they share their stories of trauma. Dawn Hill, John Elliott, Shirlene Bomberry, 3 separate stories united in trauma. Each attended the Mohawk Institute in Brantford, Ontario, operating as a residential school for 140 years. 80,000 Indigenous children are estimated to have been sent here from 6 nations and other reserves across the province. Away from their families, their culture stripped. The school closing its doors in 1970, but for these survivors, the pain remains. Do you remember the day that you were brought here?
Yep, September the 7th, 1947. Me and my older brother and my sister next to me. The boys master took us down through the school and down the playroom. Bunch of kids down there, and then we went outside. And my brother says, "What do you think?" I said, "I don't think I'm going to like it here." He said, "Well, let's go."
10-year-old John didn't understand why he was sent to the Mohawk Institute, but knew he didn't want to stay. On foot, he and his brother started a 2.5-hour trek to get back to their grandfather. But when he saw them, he sent them back.
He said, "I didn't send you there." He says, "The government sent you there." But I didn't know what he meant.
Dawn Hill was placed at the Mohawk Institute in 1957. Her father had passed away. Her mother was ill. A then 7-year-old Dawn, alongside her 2 sisters and brother, kept apart by the staff as much as possible. Her interactions with her brother, brief and from a distance.
When I would see him in the dining room, I'd wave at him and he'd wave back. And that's the only time I got to talk to him. And one day he was gone. Nobody thought to tell us where he went or what happened to him.
Dawn describes the violence she experienced, given the strap for sleeping in the same bed as her sister. A culture of fighting among kids that was never stopped by staff. Knuckles hit with a pointer for not holding her pencil correctly. Her younger sister, Roberta, sexually abused.
You always lived in constant fear. There was always that background violence. You know, the fear of not doing the right thing, or, I don't know, you didn't even know what you did wrong sometimes.
Shirlene also learned to accept the abuse as normal, living with pain from her time at the Mohawk Institute.
Mine's right here. Yeah, Shirlene Bomberry. I came 66 to 70.
At the age of 10, she stepped foot on this property with 3 younger siblings, one of the last groups of children to attend before the school shut its doors.
21 years ago, I took off this coat of shame and guilt that I carried since I was 10 years old. I blamed myself, you know, and I felt shameful that I was here.
I think it's important that people hear from a lot of people what they experienced here. So mostly so it doesn't happen again.
The steps of the Mohawk Institute, a reminder of what happened, as ground searches of former residential schools across Canada are currently underway. How does this make you feel to see this?
That is pretty tough.
Melanie Ng, City News.